11 o'clock, February 22nd. Yeah, it didn't snow as much down here as it did up north. Northern Iowa, we had about 3 inches up a ways, and I even got 6 to 7. But down here in southern Iowa, just got a skiff. So let's go down and see what the activity was on these trees that we cut down Saturday. The snow is still really deep here, approaching where we cut the trees down at, and we'll just learn together. Well, that's something. I've been traversing across this hillside, and here's how you find those sheds. When I found that the other day, the snow was definitely too deep, but we found that one because, like I say, I'll show you on my boot, the snow depth was higher than that boot. It was up to here on the boot, so that would have been covered up. So we found a little shed here on the south facing slope. I just walked into it by accident, and to be truthful, that's how you walk into all of them. So first human hand, little 8-point. Well, no, I guess it would have been a little 9-point with a hook on him. That's pretty identifiable if we could see him on some of the trail cameras. And he's been there a while. South-facing slope. So, yeah, that was worth the trip down. As this snow, we're going to be in 40 and 50 degree weather here, so they'll start popping out of the ground, hopefully. Boy, it's a bear videotaping this. So much glare out. But I want to demonstrate how you wouldn't have found the shed. Now that shed was visible in that brown spot. But you see that virgin snow right there? I'm going to throw that down in there. Now you can see, had that drifted over, you would, if I can get some snow thrown up on that. That's how deep that snow is. But get that drifted over there. Now you can see that standing 2 feet away from that, you wouldn't have found that shed. And I was just lucky. That's how deep the snow is. It would have completely buried that. Now if it fell on top on frozen snow, it might have been there, but you couldn't tell if that shed was there. So it's not the best time on the 22nd day of February to be looking for those, because like I said, I'll pick this up out of there. It's completely encapsulated in snow. Just wanted to show you that. And all the snow around here is that same depth. And we found this shed down there where all that south slope is where some of the snow was melted off. Had the snow not been melted off, you'd have walked by that every time. Here it is, right at 10:30 on the 25th of February. We found our first shed antler today. It's a nice one, but it's really hard to find in the snow. I was really lucky, but I was hunting bare spots. But anyhow, let's see, that ain't it. There it is, right there. And we're not more than 5 steps from it. Let's step it off. 2 and 5. Nice 8-pointer. The first one we found. Today, 25th. So we'll get him out of there. First human hand. Yeah, he's been off for a while. Nice 8 though. Real nice symmetrical white. And fortunately we just started to get nibbled on a little bit, but not much. But, February 25th. Oh, I see an antler from here. We're down on that where we planted the pure traction and forage oats. And I'm standing at the scrape tree right out there. We'll step it off. And bright white. You wouldn't have found that a week ago. Showing on how far away you can see him sometimes. One was 30 yards away, and he's been there a while. And it's stuck down in the mud, and you can see where ice is formed on top of it. And so you would not have seen him until the way that laid down like that. You could have walked this field a million times and never seen it. But while we're here, look at all the foraging still going on those turnips and stuff. But this would have been a real early shed. So, first hand, human hand to it. Oh, 25th day of February. Yeah, he was stuck down in the unique little shed to shed. But right there at that pin oak tree was where I spotted him from. So that was pretty good. And as I look out on that snowpack, one only knows how many more could be buried underneath of there, especially being that tight to the ground. Well, that's not bad. Well, I think we found that left side was on the 11th of February, and we found him in the cornfield, and we found the right side this morning, probably no more than 50 yards away. So they must drop pretty close to the same day. Yeah, that's a matching set. Those burrs, same size burrs, well timed. Both got the same curve at the top, same coloration. Yeah, too close together not to be a match. Found them, matched them up back here at the truck, and February 25th, 50 yards apart. Well, here we are on Saturday the 27th of February, and we've been walking. It's a little after 2 right now, and I know my phone ain't going to resonate with all the sun out, so, but it's right up here in front of us. There's my GPS marking, hillbilly as it may be, and right there's a shed. Now you wouldn't have found this shed last week at all, because it's laying down, it's in the cornfield, and the snow would have had it covered up. And I'm going to tell you something, it's mud. But anyhow, There's that shed. And like I said, you'd have never found him. There was a foot of snow on him last week at this time. So let's pick him up. First human hand. What we got here? Yeah, a little 5-point side. It's out here in the cornfield. And like I said, the way that laid like that, you'd have never found that last week. Because it's about 55, 56 degrees right now. And last week it was below zero, it was still snowpack. Yeah, 2 hours ago today, I was getting inoculated. Yeah, 9 o'clock, I left the inoculation establishment. Got my first shot for the disease. And it's really warm. It's got to be 50. It's going to be almost 60 degrees today. And this snow is just being melted off fast. Super fast. Now the deer were bedded up in this area pretty heavily with these cedar trees during that cold spell, but I looked in here and I never came across any sheds that, of course, like I said, this is a south-facing slope. As you can see, it's all burned off, which is really good. And I was just walking down through this path, per se, because it's burned off up under these cedar trees. I looked over there and looked underneath these trees where it's shadowed up, and there it was. So we'll get him out of there. He froze to the ground. Come on, we'll pry it up out of there. Oh, well, he's not a big one, but he's uniform. I'll take him. There's very little frost in this ground. It's like they froze down in there. But, like I say, he was up underneath these cedars. He must have bedded in there during the storm. Well, it's almost 1 o'clock. And since we found that 4-point side, we're up here on top. And 99% of the snow is melted off. And I'm out here walking around with no shirt on because it's literally hot out. And I want to walk you down here. I put my pack and stuff up here so I didn't have to carry it. But I'll take you down here and show you what I found walking back to get my pack and a drink of tea. It's really amazing how you can find something like that. So get ready, it's really a treasure. Can you see it laying out there? Wide open. I mean, man, just unbelievable. I'm going to step this off from where I can see it now that I know it's there. But I bet you 99% of you couldn't see it. 124. There's that monster. Now, people can brag about finding mediocre white-tailed deer racks because that's all they are. When you compare them to elk, caribou, or moose, there's one of the smallest antlered carrying deer there is. But this is a treasure, my friend. When you can find that, I call that a far greater trophy than the so-called monsters of the Midway. What was the odds of that? Trying to get my fix of vitamin D through the sunshine. And just a week ago, it was below zero. Go figure. Yeah, you know it's hot when you got your Gatorade with you on the 3rd day of March. It's unbelievable weather patterns. Well, we just found something. Back in February, I seen some blood up on that hill up there. And didn't think a whole lot of it at the time. Could have been a shed antler. and the snow was too deep. Yep, a spike buck, very much dead. And there's the rest of his body in there. And when you pick these up, you have to notify the game warden so he can give you a salvage tag to make it legal in your possession. And that deer's been there quite a while. Anyway, the things you find, nothing goes to waste. Yeah, right there is where I found that bed. There's the white hair. And I looked down in there, but I needed, well, wouldn't have done any good. He was probably covered up in the snow. But he was down in that ravine down in there. But this was where I came across. It was bedded in here under these cedars, and there was blood on the ground, and there's the hair. So he must have met his demise, and they drug him down into the creek. Well, there's how warm it is. That's at 70, right under that arrow. Unbelievable. There it is, 11 o'clock on the 5th. Yeah, I'd like to address this issue with a follower of mine, Keith Carlson, out of South Carolina. He emailed me this morning saying how hard shed hunting was. Yep, it is. But I don't have no shackles on my arms or my legs, so I'm out here doing something I enjoy. And like I said, you're either one step closer or one step farther away, Keith. And I walked Wednesday. I think I found one little spike about that long and one small, possibly little 10-pointer. And it's 11 o'clock now, and I've been walking since 9, and I want to show you what I mean by one step closer. The faint deer trail right through here, and as I was walking up to it, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. At the 2 tines sticking up right there. But you look over here, you see that weed? Almost look the same. And we're going to walk up here and see what this guy is. And here's where I seen it from. 1, 2, 12 yards. Boy, that's a dandy. That's one hell of an 8-pointer. And as usual, a first human hand. Boy, is that a nice one. Is that a nice 8-pointer? Well, now I guess it's a 10-pointer. Boy, that's a nice rack. Now, I've noticed after the Democrats won, I've been finding more left antlers than right antlers. So I wonder if that's political. But I'm going to mark this tree right where this antler's at. See that right there where I picked it up? There was browsing on that. That might have been him. Hung that bright orange sponge up right where I found him at. And now I'm going to start circling because a buck that dropped that up in this area probably had a pretty good tendency of dropping the other side. Well, here's luck for you. 11:21, and I went ahead, and you can see that orange sponge hanging back there. So I'm not very far away from that big 10-point that I found. And walking down that trail, I looked over here, and there's a small one right there, if you want to call it small. We'll fish him out of there. Oh yeah. Oh, he's a little he's a little 10-pointer. He's the right side, but he ain't gonna be the right side for that left side. That's for sure. First human hand. Yeah, I'll bet you I'm gonna step that off just to see how far away this one was. And I got to mention Keith Carlson there from South Carolina. You can walk for days on end, and then with no rhyme or reason, within 10 minutes you can find two of these boogers, 25 yards away. And it's a little 10-pointer. But there ain't no way, there ain't no matches there, that's for sure. But that's a pretty nice 10-pointer. Keith, that's just how it goes. And that's for everybody out there. Don't get depressed. Just enjoy your time spent in the great outdoors. If anybody's telling you there's a rhyme or reason to that, you get away from them bullshitters as fast as you can. Take you all along on something. There's a small pond down here. There's lots of rubs on these trees. You know them bucks run in this area pretty good, especially with that hidden water source down here. And real good south-facing slope in out of the wind. We just found that big 10 up there on top of that hill, and that other small 10. And I'm walking down in here, looking in this thicket, because you can see how that's in the shade, but right there is bright sunlight. And that's about the way it would have been down here in this hole, clear out of the wind, cedar trees, all that real heavy trash in here. And I was looking in here, and well, you can see my hillbilly GPS unit there, my farm glove and my walking stick. I'm going to walk up here and show you what's laying down here. I couldn't believe this. And he's in the shadows, but it showed up pretty good. That's a small 8-point, but that's pretty darn good. Been going pretty good since 11 o'clock. We found 3 antlers, and this antler probably is not more than 50 yards from that. And I brought that other little 10-point side along, because I thought maybe that was might be the match. I don't know. Nah, it's small, same size, but I don't see no similarity to that. Yeah, but like I said, this was the little pond here, out in there, and it's down in here in a hole. So I definitely got my work cut out. 3 sheds in about a half an hour. First human hand to pick this little guy up. Man, well, that's a left. I guess I did have a right one. But the left antlers are outnumbering the right antlers this year. We definitely got our work cut out to search this area now. Well, there it is, 3:45. Been walking, 11:30 we found 3. I've been walking in timber like that since 9 o'clock this morning. Just to show you how luck of the draw plays in looking for shed antlers. Now, like I say, I've been walking through that terrain all day. Now, as I was going to retire for the day, I came back to get my pack, because I don't carry it all the time. I just leave it in one area, then it cuts down on the weight. But anyhow, I got to take you up and show you something. And remember, this is 2:45 in the afternoon. We're out here in the open cattle pasture. And since 11:30, we got our exercise in. And like I said, if I hadn't have left my pack where I left it, I just made a big loop around and was coming back to get it. You can see that antler right there, laying out in the middle of the pasture, right at 50. And there that guy lays out here in this huge cattle pasture with, like I said, we were in the timber all day. And this is not the first time this has happened to me, that you found a sizable shed out in the pasture. So, luck of the draw, my friends, luck of the draw. That first human hand to pick this guy up, it would have been a nice little 10-pointer. Nice symmetrical. He's going to be nice next in 2020 season, that's for sure. Oh man. I don't think he can match this other one. We found that one on the left there, left side. We found that at about 11 o'clock, 11:15 thereabouts. And then we just found this one at 2:45. Nice deer, but no matches. So, wow, that was a pretty good day. Find those two. Well, actually, we found 4. So, not a bad day. But those are some nice bucks right there. Well, here it is, St. Patrick's Day. Walking along this edge of the pasture, and man, that white antler, it popped out big time right there. Nice. Oh, it's got a little chew on it. Laying right behind those old dead trees and cedar trees. And that's straight north, and you're looking back, it's straight south. So apparently it was laying right in, possibly in one of those hollows back in there. And got up and it fell off, because I knew I wanted to shed hunt this because I hadn't got over here yet. It's not a very big draw, but it's a south-facing ditch, and it would have had very little wind or snow buildup on it, because, well, you can see it's got a natural windbreak all the way along here. So, well, we got that one on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Well, you can call it the luck of the Irish, or whatever you want to call it. But I found my second shed today, and it might be a match to the one I found earlier. It's in the same general area, and boy, it's a perfect day. It's a little windy out in the open, so I'm in the timber, but I want to show you. That slope is going straight up. The wind is coming right over the top, so that would be the north wind. And this gets a lot of sun, and boy, this one is a dynamite shed. Look at that baby. And here again, you can see how the contour of the land is going down. That would have been right in the sun. Oh man, I don't know what's up here waiting us, but south-facing slope on a cloudy day. That white antler popped out of there like, oh man, I can't believe that. I know some people criticize me for stepping this off, but I just want to show how close or how far you can be. So I'll try to put this on wide angle. 1, 2, 3, 22. Wow. That might be a match. I found the one in the open pasture a couple weeks ago. Man, that's a nice buck. A nice typical 10-pointer. It's a cold, windy day, but I'm out of the wind with this scenario because when I go back out on the field, the winds are probably 40 miles an hour. We'll look around. Maybe we can find the other one because today those shed antlers are like they got the high beams on. Oh, wow. Well, that's 2 finds on St. Patrick's Day. And like I said, you can see this is all south-facing slopes with cedar trees on it. Perfect place for them. Yeah, that's called Luck of the Irish right there. Well, first human hand on this guy. Yeah. Nice 10-pointer. He may be the match that one I found on the pasture. Yeah, we're out here on the open pasture. I just wanted to dramatize, give you an idea how windy it is out here today. I might get lucky. You can hear that wind blowing. That's why I was in the timber, but I thought I'd cut across here. I found that one shed on the open pasture. Maybe this one I could find a match. Who knows? But I know one thing, it's a whole lot colder and a whole lot windier out here on the 17th day of March. The wind's really got a bite to it. Well, I think I might head to the van. Well, here we are. 26th day of March. And about the last day we're going to look for antlers. And nice cloudy day. And there was a little shed right there. Boy, not big, but no matter. When you find one, and that possibly could be a last year's shed. Let's pick him up. First human hand. Yeah, it's hard to say. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's been there for a while. But we still found a little shed. So that makes my day. Well, it's real time. 12:57. It's been a while since we've seen an antler. Yeah, I don't know what time that was. I believe it was like 9 o'clock, so it's almost been a good 3 hours. And I think I've found another antler today. This is a pretty good deer trail running right there. And just off to the right, that cedar tree's got a little rub on it. And just to the left of that, there's the cedar tree. And right there on the ground, I think I see an antler sticking up. Yeah, I can't believe how that looked like back there. It looked like a tine sticking up. You notice these rubs along here? Well, this is amazing. Well, it could be a corn husk too. Well, there you go. I'm going to go get a corn husk and show you what I'm talking about. I won't pick that up until I lay that corn husk there. There's what you're faced with. I just put that corn husk out there. And well, here's one right here, bright white. And you just, oh man, that'll draw your attention a long ways away. Well, I think that's either 19 or 20. That's not an ungodly amount, but it's real field time. It could be 20. I've lost track, but it's a lot better than last year. I think last year I only found like 3 or 4 because they had that EHD. And I don't know, I never found the buck carcasses, but I didn't find the antlers either. So I'll take what this is, and this may be the last day I antler hunt because finally the sun's supposed to come out, it's supposed to dry up. Time to go to work. Well, so far we found 2. Two left side ones. So I've got to take a quick peek at a couple spots and probably call it a day on the 26th day of March. Well, here we are, 26th day of March, Friday, about 4 o'clock, thereabouts. And I put a wrap on it today. Got a lot of work to do, and it takes a lot of time to get that work done, and I can't spend any more time walking in the woods. I spent a considerable amount of time, put a lot of miles on. I don't have a clue how many miles, but that's beside the point. I want to congratulate you all for your finds that you've found, whether it's on public ground, private ground, whether you hunt the ground or not. If you found them, you found a treasure. I hunt exclusively for sheds where I do hunt, and I keep a good tab on the deer. Now this year, which would have been 2020, the sheds that you're going to see, they're relevantly small because in 2019 we had a real bad EHD. It devastated a lot of deer, so the herd is young right now, but it's really got coming back pretty strong. But the antlers aren't anyway near the size that a lot of you would respect, but they're what's on your property and where you hunt. And like I said, in 2019, that EHD took out a whole lot of good bucks. So without any rambling on, I'm going to step out of the way and let you see what we got. And same as politics, this year the left won. I found more left antlers than right antlers. So Trump ain't the only one on the right side of the ledger that lost. So even in the antler world, the lefts beat out the right. So I'm going to show you what we got. Those are some real nice antlers for, like I said, a crop that really got hit hard in 2019. And I think we got 1, 2, 3, I think there's 19 antlers there. And the most intriguing one, the best trophy I got in my lifetime is that guy right there, hands down. To be able to get him on trail cameras and then find both of his sheds, as I said, that was nothing but pure divine intervention, because you didn't find out by yourself. And if you don't believe in God, well, then you might as well stop watching this channel, because I haven't done anything on here by myself. Deb and me been blessed with the fruit of our labor, but the old man up above is the commander-in-chief of what goes on in the wild. So we would have had on the left ledger, we would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there would have been 11 votes for the left. Without none of these are write-in votes, by the way. They're all legit. You had to find them in the, they had to live to be scored. They couldn't be the living dead voting. And for the right side, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So right side lost, left side won, even in politics. So, like I said, I congratulate you all on your finds, and these are 100% hunted deer, and I was just fortunate enough to get 2 matching sets, and that freak buck, as they call him, which might offend some people because I call it a freak, but it definitely had a pedicle problem, that was for sure. And they got it on film, actually on video, and with several trail cams, and then find that matching set was just phenomenal. So that's it from the non-typical on shed hunting 21. Oh, like I say, they're not the biggest, but in my world they're the best.